All right, guys, welcome back. So we have, going through the processes of the last 2 days, we've got 4 ideal goals that we want to achieve in the next year. And I want you to think about those goals for a minute and kind of ask yourself, how would it feel if you achieved all 4 of those things? How would you feel emotionally? How would you feel about yourself? Would it increase your confidence? Would it change your life, change the quality of your life? Because that's what this is about. It's about who we become when we're trying to achieve a certain goal. So now that we have these 4 areas and these 4 specific goals that we want to do within a year, there's something that we need to do with that, all right? There's some steps that we need to take. Now, the first step is I want you to kind of think about a year from now, if you are the person that's achieved these goals, what kind of person would you have to be? What kind of skills would you have to acquire? What kind of abilities would you have to master? What kind of attitude would you have to carry? If it's a dietary issue, you got to carry that attitude of my body's a temple. It's something that I respect. It's something that I don't put poisons into. I don't eat just for the sake of emotional gratification or out of convenience. My thoughts are, and my belief is that I'm a healthy person and I do things to get vibrant and more health and create the ability to be more energetic in life. So, there's an attitude that comes with everything that we do. And your current attitude is what's gotten you to where you are now. So, you got to change. You can't do the same thing from the same mindset and expect different results. You got to change your mindset as well as change your daily rituals. So, first thing I want you to do is I want you to kind of think about achieving these 4 goals and think about who you would have to be with these abilities, attributes and talents and attitudes and different things like that, and who you'd have to be to achieve those goals. Once you've done that, now we need to get specific about our goals, okay? So the first step is take these 4 generalized ideas and get very, very specific. Now, what do I mean by specific? Let's take the example of weight loss for this, okay? The first step that we're going to use the SMART technique. S-M-A-R-T. First means specific, second means measurable, third means attainable, fourth means realistic, and fifth, the fifth letter in that is timely. So it's SMART. S-M-A-R-T. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. Okay, so specific. If your goal is, I want to lose weight, okay? I want to lose weight is not specific. It's not something that you know that you want to do. You can say, I want to be a size, I don't know, I'm going to go with a guy's perspective. I want to wear a pant size 32 within this year. I want to weigh 200 pounds within this year, or I want to be able to run a marathon within the end of this year, whatever it is, but it's got to be a specific goal that is measurable. Now, why is it important to measure it? Because you have to be able to measure your progress. So, for example, if your goal is to lose 50 pounds, well, you can measure how you're going through that process. So, specific and measurable. Now, the A is for attainable. It needs to be realistic. Let's say that you, we'll talk about income here. Let's say that you earn $30,000 a year right now, and you want to earn $10 million in the end of the next year. Well, your subconscious isn't going to believe that because you don't have a realistic, how do you say this, perspective of what it takes to earn $10 million. But say you earn $30,000 right now and you want to earn $100,000 a year. Well, that's something that's very, very attainable. It's also realistic. So you actually put something that you can believe and you can actually strive towards. Now, if you attain that quicker, great, then make a new goal and go further. But you make sure it's something that you really believe that you can achieve, but that also stretches you a little bit out of your comfort zone. And then timely is the final factor. You've got to put a time limit on it. And the reason for the time limit is you want to create a sense of urgency for yourself, and you don't want to just kind of float. You want to say, I'm going to do this by this given time. Now, you understand that the time is something that's going to give you a specific thing to aim for, but you may not hit that time goal. It might take you a little bit longer, and that's fine. But you want to set a time limit to go ahead and do this, or you may hit it quicker. You might find that, hey, I figured this out and I can do this a lot quicker. You might come up with some great idea and start earning $100,000, next week. So great, then set a new goal. Again, these are ideas, but you need to put stuff on it so you have something that you're specifically aiming for. Okay, so that's the first step. For each one of those goals, write down the specifics. Make sure to write down the specifics of the goal, and you can also do it to the depth of what's it going to feel like when you're doing this? What's it going to be like when you achieve this goal? Get very, very specific down to as many details as you can. Okay. Now the next step is you want to make a list of actions, a list of daily actions that you're going to have to do. Again, with weight loss, okay, I need to clean out the pantry and get rid of the junk food. I need to plan ahead for what I'm going to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I need to plan what my snacks are going to be in between. I need to read and find out how to find out what my basal metabolic rate is and what my total caloric intake is going to be, and read and find all these little things, daily things that you need to do, so that you have a plan of action each day when you get started. And that's for all 4 areas again. The next thing is you want to keep these goals written down on a 3x5 card. You want to review them in the morning and review them at night. And what you want to do is you want to take a few minutes of quiet time to review these, and you want to mentally rehearse how it's going to feel when you achieve these goals. You're going to get into the emotion, get into the state of that person that you are to achieve these goals. Because once you become that person, the goal will be easier to achieve. Skinny people act and think like skinny people. They don't act and think like fat people. So if you get yourself used to that kind of a thought process and that kind of action, then you'll get closer to achieving those goals. Wealthy people, successful people, they act and think a lot differently than people that haven't achieved the success that they want. So again, if you do this twice a day and you get used to the feeling of what it's going to feel like to be that person, then your mind will start making you act that way more creative, more often, and move you towards that goal. Now, the final thing that happens is you need to be open. Okay, and what do I mean by that? Well, achieving a goal is not a straight line. It's often a zigzag line. And I want you to watch the other video that I include with this, because I'm going to talk about my trip through chiropractic school and all the things that we did and how it all came to pass. It's a very zigzag line, but it's a great example of how a goal is achieved and what it takes to get through it. You need to be open to the fact that there are going to be obstacles. As soon as you set a goal, then the things that are going to get in your way are going to start jumping out at you. And you got to maintain your focus on the goal by looking at these cards twice a day. Maintain your daily activities through the chaos, and the chaos will slowly disappear. And then what you'll find is you'll find opportunities, people, the right places, the right books, the right things are going to start coming into your life to help you achieve your goals. Okay? So be open to the fact that you will experience a ton of obstacles, a ton of chaos, but be determined that you're going to stick with your daily actions. That's why you've got to set your actions now, because when you're in the middle of a chaos, it's impossible to come up with an action plan then. The time to plan a battle is not during the war. The time to plan the battle is before you go to war. So, do that. Make sure you get your list of actions set up, and be steadfast and be ready for the chaos, but also be ready for the opportunities that are coming in. And one last thought is, the goal and achieving a goal is not just about the goal, it's also about who you become, and it's also about who you influence. Once you start working towards a goal, the effects of what you're doing, ignore that phone, the effects of what you're doing, you don't know how far this is reaching. For example, a bee, the only thing the bumblebee wants to do is they want to go and they want to feed on the nectar of a flower. But they don't understand that when they feed on the nectar of that flower, they pick up the pollen and they fly across and spread that pollen across a mountainside, and their simple goal of achieving the taste of the nectar sets up a whole mountainside to blossom with flowers. So you're the same way. When you're doing these things and you're achieving a goal, you don't know who you're affecting and what you're affecting throughout the world. So keep that in mind. Watch the other videos so you can see the chaos that's going to come up, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.